to give you 6 traits of the vulnerable narcissist. And when I talk about them, you're going to understand why I'm saying this is the most prevalent kind of narcissism. Trait number 1. When you think about narcissist, what comes to mind? Oh, I know. We all think about the arrogant, bombastic, egotistical man who demands attention when he walks into a room. And for sure, that is one kind of narcissism. However, there's a much more prevalent kind of narcissism that I want to talk about in this video. I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute, where we study, talk about, and treat all things pertaining to narcissism. While there certainly is an arrogant, bombastic, demanding, contentious kind of narcissism, there's another kind, and that's the vulnerable narcissist. In future videos, I'm going to be talking about the different kinds of narcissism. There are 5 different types. I'll talk about that in the future video. For now, I want to talk about the most prevalent kind of narcissist. And that's one you might not be thinking about, but when I describe him, you're going to say, yep, I've seen this guy. It's the vulnerable narcissist. Talking about narcissism in only terms of arrogance, domination, egotism is too narrow of a way to think about this complex topic. It needs a lot of further understanding. So let's talk now about the vulnerable narcissist. I'm going to give you 6 traits of the vulnerable narcissist. And when I talk about them, you're going to recognize him. It could be her, but more often it's a him. And you're going to understand why I'm saying this is the most prevalent kind of narcissism. Trait number 1, hypersensitivity to criticism. Hypersensitive to criticism. Cannot take criticism. They get their feathers ruffled, they bristle, they get angry in response. And my goodness, folks, how damaging is it to a relationship if you're hypersensitive to criticism? Feedback is a foundational component of a healthy relationship where there is give and take. Not so with the vulnerable narcissist. The vulnerable narcissist shouts, I don't take criticism well, I don't want it. And it's not only that they don't take it well, but what happens in the face of criticism, in that interaction, what happens right there that is so doggone damaging? Defensiveness, denial, dismissiveness, deflection, blame shifting, pouting, sulking, all kinds of destructive things, behavior traits that creates so very much damage. And you'll remember this, that emotional abuse is a pervasive pattern of these kinds of behaviors that inflicts harm on another person on an ongoing basis. Trait number 2, chronic feelings of insecurity and shame. Think about that for a moment. They don't know how to deal with shame. Healthy shame. It could be healthy shame. It may be toxic shame. But shame and regret and remorse, and that is why you don't see them saying, I am sorry. I was wrong. I hurt you. I shouldn't hurt you in that way. I take ownership of hurting you that way, and I will make things right. You don't get that. You don't get that because they're so guarded. They have so much shame, so much insecurity, so deep feelings of inferiority that they have to then be guarded and defensive, and you feel that. Trait number 3, passive aggressive behaviors. I often say that these men know how to shut up and they know how to blow up. They know how to sulk and pout, and they know how to be testy and argumentative and demanding. And they don't. I'm not letting them off the hook with this, folks, but they don't know how to say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about my feelings. I want to listen to yours. I want to hold space for your thoughts and feelings, and then I would love for you to do the same for me. They can't do that. They don't have those kind of skills. And so you can feel their seething resentment. And that leads us to trait number 4, a victim mentality. Always feeling like they're getting a raw deal, a short end of the stick. Always being testy and demanding about that and irritable and resentful, and they'll make no bones about that. It never happens. You never, just irritable resentment that is part of a mentality of thinking that they are getting a raw deal. They're not, but they are stuck in that. And that trait number 5, feelings of envy and resentment. I've done a lot of writing about this topic. This attitude, this envious attitude, it can be a pervasive way of walking through the world. Just always noticing people that have more than they do or have something they think they deserve. This envy. And they'll make snide comments about other people. And you'll hear it and go like, what is with you? They deserve what they worked hard for, what they've got. Oh no. No, the vulnerable narcissist has got this bitter envy and bitter resentment that just pervades their way of walking through the world. And the last trait, number 6, interpersonal isolation and withdrawal. Oh my goodness, this is not how we think of a narcissist, is it? We think they are always front and center, walking through a room, demanding attention. But no, the vulnerable narcissist is often insecure, often frightened and withdrawing. And they know that they're not measuring up. They know that they have social and interpersonal incompetence. They know they are emotionally immature, and so they struggle as they walk through the world. All right, I hope this has given you a little bit of a taste of the most prevalent kind of narcissist that we work with all the time at the Marriage Recovery Center, all the time, and that's the vulnerable narcissist. Now, I've written a book on the topic, so click on the link to subscribe, and we will let you know as soon as the book is out. You can be one of the first to get it and read it and understand this most prevalent kind of narcissist, the vulnerable narcissist. And as always, click on the link to subscribe to future videos and contact our client care team if we can help you determine a good and healthy path forward. All right, take care and God bless.